Warning. This is an ongoing tragedy. Some of the pictures and videos may be disturbing. My heart goes out to the family and loved ones of the victims. Everything I'm talking about is for educational purposes, and I mean no disrespect to the victims. Viewer discretion is advised. On October 29, 2022, a crowd crush occurred during Halloween festivities in Itaewon, Seoul, South Korea.
All of these people, many of them in their 20s, in their 30s, out here having a great time, and they never came home.
The crowd crush occurred at 10:15 p.m. local time. The local media group said people crowded into bars because of a rumor that an unidentified celebrity was present, or that drug-laced candies were being distributed in clubs. The street in which the crush happened was connected to Itaewon Row, the main street of the district, with a lane sloping upward and eventually meeting with another street, causing people to be packed and pushed along the narrow segment in the lane. People at the top of the slope fell to those below. The lane is about 150 feet long and 13 feet wide, which impeded emergency services attempting to enter the street. Emergency officials said at least 81 calls were made by people experiencing breathing difficulties. Social media videos show that people were so tightly compressed and interlocked together, that first responders were unable to pull individuals out, delaying critical first aid and resuscitations. The videos also showed scenes of turmoil as festival attendees dressed in costumes attempted to resuscitate the injured. Following calls made to the fire department at 10:15 p.m., 4 ambulances were immediately dispatched. There, paramedics, police, and bystanders, as well as survivors, performed CPR on the victims. An additional 83 ambulances arrived on site as late as 11:45 p.m. Due to the large crowd, ambulances had difficulty reaching the scene. Bodies were laid on the streets by medical and police personnel and covered with blankets and clothing. Many of the victims were transported to Suncheonhyang University Hospital. An emergency message was issued to mobile phones in Yongsan, urging people to immediately return home due to an emergency accident near Hamilton Hotel. The National Fire Agency said 848 emergency personnel, including 346 firefighters across the country, had been deployed to the scene. Several U.S. Army military police units, of the United States Forces Korea, were also dispatched to provide assistance to victims and maintain public order on scene. Even after the scene was closed off by police, bars continued to operate. Many individuals continued in celebration, unaware of the ongoing crisis. There were at least 154 deaths, with more fatalities expected. The known deaths consisted of 97 females and 56 males. At least 133 others were confirmed injured, including 24 in serious condition, and 50 receiving medical attention for cardiac arrests. An estimated 355 missing persons reports were filed the following day. Police said that they would identify the victims and relay information to family members. An investigation would also be opened to determine if bars and clubs followed safety regulations. By the afternoon of October 30th, about 90% of victims had been identified. The remaining 10% were of local teens or foreign nationals. It was initially difficult to identify the deceased because of their Halloween costumes, and because many were not carrying identification. Officials who usually deal with birth certificates or home registrations assisted in identifying victims. Workers at the center answered phone calls from the public regarding the missing. Since 5:30 a.m. on October 30th, the center logged at least 3,580 call hours. The chief of the Yongsan-gu Fire Department said it was a presumed stampede and that many individuals fell. President Yoon Suk-yeol addressed the nation the following morning, and later visited the scene of the incident. A period of national mourning until November 5th was declared by President Yoon, ordering flags at government buildings and public offices to fly at half-mast. The mayor of Seoul, Oh Se-hoon, who was on a trip to Europe at the time of the incident, returned to Seoul.
But tonight, as you see, it's all about, most people who were here last night want nothing to do with this place now. It's empty, aside from a handful of reporters and the police blocking off the area. And of course, those shoes and the pieces of people's Halloween costumes just sitting in trash bags. Guarantee you, a lot of the pieces of costumes there come from people who didn't make it out alive yesterday.